never get drunk on the last night of vacation.
Because no matter what, you got to get home. You got to either drive in a car all the way home or you got to fly. I mean, and either way, it's terrible. I did that once in Fort Lauderdale, and we went to Fort Lauderdale, and I had I could have flown with friends home, or I decided to drive. I thought it would be better to drive, even though it took longer. I figured I could just lay on the seat and on the way home, and the plane thing I couldn't do. And oh my God, either one is terrible. So whatever you do, do it the day before the day you leave.
Not the last day.
Right. Don't celebrate the last day of vacay. Celebrate the day before the last day of
recovery day.
Yeah.
Lay by the pool, get a nice breakfast.
Absolutely. Yes.
But I think that was part of the problem.
We didn't have time for breakfast.
What time we leave? 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock.
Had to be on the bus at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
I'm afraid to let your husband book these trips because...
Oh, he found different tickets.
He did? Well, yes. I'm nervous on that because your husband doesn't care about...
it's Southwest and it's direct.
Oh, and what time though? 8 o'clock in the morning?
Okay, well
that'd be great. Or is it 5 o'clock in the morning? Because that'd be terrible.
On the flight leaving from here, we figured the night before we leave, we'll get a room
at the hotel.
At the
airport. That's what we do all the time.
And then the flight leaves, I think, at 6:30 in the morning.
That's okay then.
But we're in Cabo at like 11:30, 11:40. So.
And then on the trip home, we don't have to get up the crack of dawn.
No, the trip home, there's only one flight though, and it's like at 11:45 at night. I mean, in the morning. But we don't have to sit in the Atlanta airport for 8 hours.
True. So, but we still, that's okay. That's still doable. 11:45. We got to be there 2 hours before.
Yeah.
Well, we have those easy those
and we're not checking baggage, right?
I have my I'm not checking baggage.
Learned how to pack.
I got it. Yep. I am traveling like the way Angie Barton travels now. I learned how to pack my little overnight carry on, and man, it's fabulous. I actually took, can you believe, for 14 days in Italy, I took a carry-on and a backpack, and I got in, I think, like 20 outfits. I mean, I didn't even wear half the stuff I brought to Italy in this little carry-on thing. It's fabulous.
It's all
thanks to my girlfriend Angie. She has all the tricks with all that. I will say thank you. And even my husband got one carry-on. So it's the way to go.
Cage used to tell me to roll, but I had to figure out on my own because we never checked bags because we never knew if we were gonna, fly in standby with the airline, if you'd get on or you didn't, or you'd end up going someplace else. So that was just the way.
I mean, if I knew then what I know now.
I'm so proud of you.
Do you remember when we went to England and I had to carry your husband would not help me with my damn bags at all. And I had this huge suitcase and this other thing, right? Didn't I? And I was struggling. It was the worst ever.
Yeah.
And even now when I fly back and forth to Gina's, I just do the carry-on. Even though now they charge you for the carry-on. Before they didn't charge it. Now they're charging you for carry-ons.
For a carry-on
Yes,
suitcase?
they are. Uh-huh. Yeah, I paid $82 for a carry-on.
What?
Uh-huh.
$82?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this was, I thought,
Because they're losing money because everybody's using carry-ons. And no one's checking bags. So they figured out, well, oh God, we can't let that happen, God forbid. So let's start charging for a carry-on.
But then they don't need all the people, the baggage people. So it's actually saving them money. Wouldn't it?
Well, you would think that, but of course they're not going to.
Greed. Corporate greed.
Greed is terrible. It's a terrible thing. That's why it's probably one of the 7 deadly sins, greed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And why
Gluttony,
they say,
greed.
What is it? It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the gates of heaven.
Right. Wow.
I never really understood that,
Never
but
did
now
either.
I kind of Now I kind of
get it, right? You kind of get it.
Yeah.
Have you been watching The Chosen? Oh, I am in love with that. I'm watching, like, I'm glued to it. And what's happening is it's making me actually want to go and read the Bible, because now I know Peter and Matthew. Like, I mean, even though they're actors that played the roles, of course, and
Mary.
Jesus, but I love Jesus, and that whoever picked out that Jesus, I love that Jesus, and Mary Magdalene, and even Mary, his mother. I mean, it just makes you so much more. Like, it makes you want to read. I want to read Luke, because I know now who Luke was. I want to read Matthew, knowing that in this depiction of Matthew in The Chosen, he's the one who writes everything down. So his testimony is more truthful, or word for word, because he was that guy.
Yeah. He was the tax collector.
Tax collector which I didn't know Matthew was the tax collector.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, wow.
I always like Peter. But yeah, that series. What
Peter was
what season are you?
I'm in season 2, episode 7.
Now, where are you watching it?
I watched it on Peacock.
Oh.
The Peacock channel.
Because I had to actually download an app on my phone when it first came out, and we watched, it was like one of those kind of like, it was free. You could watch it for free, but then if you wanted to, like, pay it forward or whatever, you could, because basically that's how the movie started out, was self-financed.
It is self-financed, and they ask for donations.
Did they do that on Peacock?
On Peacock, not every episode they don't, but every like 4th episode they come on and they tell you, the guy who is writing it, and he says we're hoping to get 7 seasons out of it, and and so with your help we can do that kind of thing.
Yeah. We've watched through season 3, but I haven't watched. I don't know what season they're on. It is good.
We'll have to talk about this at the end of the show.
Yeah, it's very good.
Because we take life with a grain of salt, a wedge of lime, and a shot of God, but we also go through life with a little tequila every once in a while. Because we're not really a big wine drinkers.
No. Jesus drank wine.
Jesus drank wine. He made a lot of wine, boy, let me tell you. And they partied, right?
Yeah, the wedding. Remember the wedding?
The wedding scene in
where they
talking about in the
ran
Bible or in The Chosen?
Have you gotten to that?
Yeah.
And then wasn't that cool?
That was
because
cool.
You've heard about that, and then it's
to
like,
watch it. It's like, because honestly, I thought I didn't know a lot of the Bible, but as I'm watching this, I know what I'm looking forward to, because I know what's happened. Where's when he walks on the water? Where's when he makes the water into wine? Where's when he
heals the blind man?
Right, and
lepers.
so it's like you kind of know what's going to happen, but you really don't know when in that story it's going to happen. And don't forget, this isn't really about The Chosen. It's about Jesus, but it's also about the 12 disciples that he chose to go forward. So this is why all of this is happening now in season 2, season 3. But if you're having 7 seasons, I'm thinking that after Jesus, rises again, then the story goes to the disciples and their lives of what they had to go through to do what Jesus wanted them to do, which was to spread the story of Jesus. And they all went to different corners of the world to do that.
And many of them were persecuted.
Many of them wrote their own. That's when they wrote what happened while they were with Jesus and stuff. Before even Jesus passed, they wrote down.
Okay, well, this is totally not on that topic, but this was really funny.
Okay, we should change this topic.
No.
No offense, Lord. Love you.
No, it kind of goes. So the other night, my son, your godson, had a bunch of his buddies over. And
I love that boy.
So do I. He's great. But he had his buddies over, and they were out back playing poker and watching football on the TV. And I had gone back and was watching TV in the bedroom, and I kept hearing this, honk, honk. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And I'd pause the show, and it'd get silent. I wouldn't hear it. And I'd put the TV back on, and then honk. So then I'm like, oh my God, did Cage like leave his cell phone and maybe he had like a ringtone that sounded like a, so I went over there and I looked, no, his phone was on airplane mode. And about that time I heard it and I could hear it outside and I'm like, what the hell? So I opened up the back door to the bedroom and all the guys are going absolutely just insane. They're out there and they're, wow, oh my God. And there's this goose, a white goose with a orange
swan or a goose?
No, a goose. And he was out there and he was about halfway up the pool deck. And the guys were out there trying to like shoo him away. And he's out there and he's flapping his arms like that. And he's like juking at him. And these guys it charged out a couple of them. And it was hilarious.
Oh, that's funny. So what happened? Did you look for his eggs? It could have been the goose that laid the golden egg, you know.
Well, no, but I started thinking because, you know,
was it a boy or a girl? Can you tell?
I don't think
you can. How can you tell?
I think their penises are inside. I'm not sure. I said the P word.
Oh boy. We're going to hear about that.
I'm not sure, but it was in reference to a goose, okay?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Everything male has a penis.
Yeah, but I think theirs are in. So I don't think they have a dangly one.
How do they mate with it if it's in?
It comes out.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Duh.
I thought maybe it was able to like reprocreate by itself and don't need a partner. Because
geese they have sex, don't they?
Not like sex? Like, what do you mean? Goose sex?
Yeah.
They get goosed, all right. But I wouldn't call it sex. I'd call it, you know, I don't think they do it for pleasure. Right? I think they do it for, you know.
I mean, the woman doesn't lay the egg and then the guy fertilizes the egg like other things, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure they have sex and then she gives
that's
birth.
A good topic. We need to research that for our next podcast. Well, we can tell the world why how goose reprocreate and whether they enjoy it or not. I'd like to know, you think they enjoy it? I mean, how many species do you think on Earth literally enjoy
sex?
That. Yeah.
Well, your cat sure likes its back rubbed.
I forgot about that. Oh my God. That's a story.
That was a great story. Come on, you gotta tell it.
God.
Oh my God, you gotta tell it.
So now I'm my female cat loves to lay on my lap. And so I'm like scratching her, and all of a sudden I thought she was going into a convulsion because she was like stretched out and like shaking and not her. And I'm going, oh my God, Fred, she's having a convulsion. Fred's, that's my husband. And so then after a while, she kind of came out of it. And so I let that go once. And then I continued to scratch her. And then she did it again. And then some wet stuff came out. Like pee. I thought she peed. I'm like, oh my God, what is she doing on my lap in the couch? And what is she doing? And so right away I called my vet. I'm going, I don't know what. No, I took her to the vet.
You rushed her to the vet.
Right. And I took her to the vet and I'm like, oh, she's going into seizures. I don't know what's going on. I mean, and she's diabetic to begin with. So I have to have her shot. I shoot her with a needle twice a day. So I was worried about maybe her sugar levels or whatever was wrong. So I rushed her to the vet and so I'm telling him what happened. I'm like, I was just scratching her and, rubbing her. And he goes, well, there's nothing wrong with her. He goes, she had an orgasm. I'm like, what? I had no clue cats could twice. I gave my own female cat an orgasm twice. I was like, I said, what? I had no idea that was even possible. I mean, no one has anyone ever said, oh, watch those females because you can scratch them. And no, I've had cats forever and I've never, ever. No wonder she looks at me forlornly now. Come on now. Touch me.
And all she wants is that little scratch.
Justin, take that out.
Scratch. Although Tracy will never go there again.
I won't go there again. No. I'm like, no. I'm only scratching you on your head. I'm not going down in your over there. No.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
That was crazy and hysterical.
So
and embarrassing, and I had to pay for an office visit for that.
What? Yeah,
$140. $140 later.
$140 to find out her cat had
I gave my cat an
orgasm.
orgasm twice. That's, you know.
Oh my God, that was so funny. So yeah, back to the goose. So those guys are out there and they're trying to like shoo it away, and the damn thing will not, like, he will not leave. And he's chasing them up into the lanai. Yeah. He gets up behind the table where all the poker chips are and all that stuff, and he sticks his nose, his beak, up on the table, and is just sitting there looking like the table.
Like, deal me in.
And yeah, that's what they ended up taking a picture and said Annie up or something like that. And then yeah, finally they shoot him off, but he stayed out in the backyard all night long until I got up at 9 and he had gone away.
I wonder, are they like swans where they mate for life?
Yes, so they
are. So where was his mate? Maybe he was in mourning. That's terrible.
That's what I thought.
Maybe he was waiting for his mate.
And maybe something happened to her on the journey.
That breaks my heart.
I know, and he was telling us all about it.
Oh, the poor thing. He wanted a home. He found your home. He wanted to be maybe a pet.
Ugh.
I would have taken him in.
Oh, I know you would.
I would have made a bed. I would have fed him.
Mm-hmm. This is the only woman on the face of the planet that I know of that literally nursed
Oh God, you're talking about the rats, aren't you?
baby rats.
Baby rats
that lost their mom.
They didn't lose their mom.
I thought they lost their mom.
No, what happened was we were going to go cook a steak on the grill. So my daughter, that's when she lived at home, and she had her friends over, and the boys were going out, and they were going to light the grill for me to cook a steak. And all of a sudden they come running in. Oh my God, we got this, the baby rats are in the thing, and they lit it up. So one of these poor little rats, it was in one of these poor little rats had like a fried hand and a fried eye closed. It was terrible. It broke my heart. I couldn't.
How the hell did they get in there?
I guess the mother made a bed in there for them to give birth.
Was it like winter and y'all weren't using the grill all the time?
Yeah, we weren't using the grill. Yes. Okay. It was October for that matter. I think it was October because it was the Talladega races. So when is the Talladega races? Because Fred wasn't home.
I think they just had Talladega. So yeah.
Yeah. So Fred wasn't home. So it was somewhere now. We weren't using the grill a lot. And the mother gave birth to rat babies in my grill, and then they lit it on fire, and I still dream about that poor rat. Oh, it's terrible.
And you got them rat milk. And
I got milk. I was hand feeding them with the little eyedropper. Their eyes were still closed, and feeding them, and then my husband came home, and I told him what happened, and I'm feeding these rats, and he goes, "What? You shouldn't be doing that, whatever." I said, "Listen, the mother's, I'm just feeding them to make sure."
Did the mother run off?
Well, so here's the story. So my husband, I had them in the house, and he said, what you need to do is, you can bring them in and feed them. He said, but you have to put them back out in the grill. Maybe the mother rat is going to come back and get them. So that made sense. And I said, oh, okay. So I bring them in the morning and I feed them. And then I put them back in the grill in this little box, hoping the mother rat would come. And I bring them back in at night. So every time Fred would go get them and bring them in, one was missing. So I assumed the mother rat was coming to take them and bring it to another nest. And so each time you bring them in, another one's missing and another one. But this is like over a 24-hour period. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. By the last 3 rats, I thought to myself, wait a minute. How long does a mother take to bring a rat? One rat doesn't take 24 hours, to take to another nest. So now I go spy on him, looking out the window, and I'm watching him. And as he's walking in with the crate of the 3 little rats left, he takes one and he flings it over his shoulder. We have this like bush, like woods behind us, and he flung it over his shoulder and threw it into the woods. I wanted to kill him. It was terrible. But at that point, that next moment, when he brought him in, the rat's eyes opened and they were red. And that freaked me out.
They were red?
They were red. They were red. Yeah.
How big was it then?
It was, I mean, they grew a little bit, they were first born with the eyes closed.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was.
Were they cute?
They were cute with their eyes closed. When their eyes open, no, they were not cute anymore. No.
And what did
I
you
was
do
like,
with
oh
the
my God,
last
thankfully
one?
there was only 2 left. I had Fred put them out and let them just stay out there, and they were gone.
Oh.
The next day.
Do you think maybe something came and ate it?
I'm sure if you throw one little poor rat over your shoulder into the woods, something's going to eat that rat too. Well, I mean, that was the worst thing ever. I just still to this day will not forgive my husband for that. Right? I mean,
you remember my little hammy hamster we get a hamster, right? Kids want a hamster. Get a hamster. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I mean, hamsters only live 2 years tops.
Yeah.
So, no. This was the longest living hamster in the history of mankind. This thing was 6, 7 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And it got a tumor. And it was all like that. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta take it to the vet. And
your husband probably went nuts for that.
You're taking a damn hamster to the vet? I'm like, well, yeah. I said, I think he needs to be put down, I think. And then Cage was like,
I'll put him down.
I'll put him down. I'm just going to throw him in the river. I'm like, no.
Oh.
No, I'm taking him. So God bless my vet. I took him to the vet, and he was like, honey, just leave him here with me, and I'll give him a little, and do you want to have a funeral for him? I was like, no, that's okay. And then I get home, and Cage is like, he didn't even charge me. The vet didn't even charge me. And Cage is like, yeah, because the vet just took it out there and threw it in the dumpster. I'm like, mean.
God, don't say that.
I know.
That's terrible. That reminds me of when I was a kid. My parents had this bar built downstairs in our rec room, and it had this 40, 50-gallon fish tank in there. And my mom had all these tropical fishes and everything in there. And I wound up winning at a carnival a goldfish in a bag. So I bring home the goldfish, and I put it in this 40-gallon, 50-gallon tank at home, never thinking it's going to live. That sucker lived, I want to say 10 years. That grew to be this big. This big.
They'll get huge.
It was huge. I couldn't even believe it. And then when it died, we couldn't even flush it down the toilet because it was so big.
What was his name?
Goldie.
So original.
So original.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Oh my gosh, the things that you think of, right?
I know, right?
Oh, that's crazy.
Insane.
Anyway, is that our episode for today? I guess it is. And thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in again next week if you want to hear some crazy crap. Anyway.
Oh, here's our tequila.
Here's our tequila. We're having 1921, really, and it is a cream tequula.
Tastes
and
like
we
coffee.
got this in Mexico, by the way. And it tastes
I don't
like
remember.
Coffee. I know why you didn't remember. But it tastes like coffee. It's very good. Everyone should go try it. And God bless. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching.
Later.